Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video we have posts from Relationship Advice, Am I the A-hole, and Today I effed up. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now I'd like to give a big thank you to all of you that support me in so many different ways, like being YouTube members or Twitch subscribers or even donating during the live streams. Thanks a lot for your support, it really helps out and means a lot to me. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's from user ThisRever420. Wanting to end things with my lazy girlfriend who recently moved in. Alright, I'm a 27 male, she's 21 female. We've known each other on and off for about 3 years, started dating about 10 months ago, casually. We were both pretty lonely from COVID and happy with each other for quite some time. I had a shared apartment she would come to visit and she lived with her father at the time. In hindsight, that was probably the best spot for her, but moving forwards. A little bit about us, I suppose. I've had some bad relationships and taken 2 years of relationship therapy and anger management courses, which, not trying to sound like a D-bag, I've never had bad problems with my anger, but my ex convinced me for a while that I had. What did I learn from these classes mostly is that compromise can happen, but at their core, no one really wants to change for someone else, and there's no point getting frustrated over someone else's choices. She has struggled with her mentality, has openly admitted to being addicted to drugs, being in the psych ward, and having the police deal with her multiple times. We get along fine, but she has a serious lack of communication problem I've brought up hundreds of times since we moved in together. Right, back on track. So about 5 months ago, I was moving from a roommate situation to my own place and she wanted to move in with me. I was fine with the idea and told her sure, but she would have to get herself a job. I'm just gonna stop there. So, 6 months ago, she promised me up and down she would get a job before she moved in. She told me she had things lined up that fell through, and before I know it, the time had come and I was helping her move in jobless. Now I'm starting to get stressed and very light in the wallet department. I tried talking to her about it and she shuts me out. She huffs and puffs around my apartment. On my days off, I ask her so gently what is going on and how I can help. And she responds with, "Don't want to fight. It's stupid." I reply with things like, "Well, we have to communicate and let each other know what's going on." And she just huffs and walks away or just shakes her head. I try to help her with things like, the other day the sink broke, she's throwing crap around causing a huge scene, so I go in. I don't even say anything to her, I just get to work fixing it and she starts laughing. I ask what's so funny. "You don't even know what the problem is, I don't know why you're trying to help." I might have shot myself on the foot, but I said, "You never tell me what the problem is, so why the hell would I ask?" Fixed the problem and didn't say hardly a word to her for the rest of the day. I tried being nice, I've tried telling her and showing her I'm upset. I've tried telling her a job would help with her restlessness or seeing some friends or family. She tells me she's ruined her relationship with her father to move in with me. Not sure how that went down, and I'm unsure how to move forward at this point. So I work 40 to 60 hours a week, pay all the bills, do the laundry, cooking, groceries, tidying, and somehow feel like this post needs to end so I can just go break up with her. It's too clear. Thanks, Reddit. Okay, well, I guess OP got the clarity he needed while writing the post, but in any case, if he were to ask what's going on, I would say, OP, you clearly don't like your girlfriend, and it doesn't sound like she likes you either. You guys are clearly incompatible and it's not working out. And this is just, what, 6 months into the relationship? Dude, you need to break this off now. She's an adult, she's not your responsibility, and to be honest, we're not so sure about how she ruined the relationship with her father to move back in. If her name is not on the lease, then you can definitely give her some time to find a new place and move on. Maybe she can go stay with friends or, I don't know, But the thing is, you clearly can't be in a relationship with her because neither of you like each other. What do you guys think about OP's relationship and what he should do? Let me know in the comment section, and let's take a look at the community comments to see what kind of advice OP got there. Lele Bean says, "Yep, I think writing it all out has clarified for you that she isn't mature enough to have an adult relationship." And OP responds, "Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna sum it up to poor choices made in the loneliness of COVID." You've Looked Better says, "End it and focus on yourself." This is also typical of relationships where there's a large age gap and you knew someone when they are around 18 or younger while you're in your mid-20s or older. Focus on building relationships with people who are mature and who have some work ethic and stability in their lives. Diana Chick says, "In every relationship, everyone has to contribute. If one person is working 40 to 60 hours a week and paying all the bills, the other person should be doing all of the laundry, all of the cooking and cleaning, groceries, and anything else that needs to get done at home. Sounds like you made the right decision ending it." Well, it seems like the community is totally backing up OP's decision to end it with this girl and move on. Actually, like some people say, get in a relationship if you want to with somebody who is mature and has some work ethic and stability. So if you're curious to know how the breakup went, well, OP has given us an update, so let's continue with that. Alright, 90% of you are sensible people, the other 10% can't stick it. Thanks for stopping by everyone, but I have carefully chosen who I'm going to and not going to listen to, and what's done is done. I will not be reading any more comments, feel free to banter amongst yourselves. Alright. I told her I can't do this anymore, and things ended relatively calm for now. Deflected some harsh words and kept things at a quiet, peaceful tone. Told her she has a month and a half to find somewhere else to live. The job's not even on the table at this point. She fully admitted to not wanting one because she's depressed during our breakup. I feel like I gave her too much time, but oh well, what's done is done. Any advice for living with her for the next month? Well, she's cried a lot, tried to ask me if I'd stay and I said no. She asked me if there's anything she could do to make me change my mind and I told her no, I have waited long enough. Things are relatively calm right now and have been all day. As per someone's advice, I've been essentially greystoning and not giving her any reason to think I want her back or something for her to pick a fight with me about, and it's not like suppressing a storm, she is genuinely calm. We'll be sleeping on the pullout the next couple of weeks, if not at my family's house. I'm on night shift this week, so that should help keep our interactions limited. Well, OP, I would say try to keep your interactions as superficial as possible. No deep conversations, not even getting close on interpersonal space or anything like that for the whole month and a half. Like you said, if you can avoid being inside the house, then just try to avoid it until she moves away. So on that note, let's move on with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's from user Pain in the X. Am I the a-hole for refusing to throw my daughter's ex out? My husband, 48 male, Tom, and I, 42 female, have 3 kids. About 3.5 years ago, our oldest, Taylor, 17 female, started dating Rob, 19 male. I know they were young, but Rob is a really nice kid and treated my daughter well. Right after they met, Rob's parents got divorced. As a result of this, his dad moved to the other side of the country and his mother began to struggle with mental health. His 2 younger siblings went to live with grandparents, but they did not have room for Rob, so he was going to go live with his dad. He was devastated to leave his hometown, Taylor, and his friends. Taylor and Rob asked us if Rob could move into our in-law apartment. We spoke with Taylor privately and asked if Rob was pressuring her into allowing him to move in, and she said no, it was her idea. We also told her to think really hard about it because once we agreed to take him in, we would be responsible for him, and that would mean he would be staying as long as he needed. She thought about it for a few days and then said it would be okay no matter what. She is usually a level-headed kid, so we thought we had made the consequences of this decision clear. We thought it over for a bit and after setting some ground rules agreed to allow him to live in the apartment. The apartment is a fully separate unit with its own utilities and kitchen bathroom. The unit is separate but does have a hotel-style adjoining room set of doors. We decided not to charge Rob any rent or utilities in exchange for following a certain set of rules. In the beginning, Rob was not allowed to have guests to the apartment, including Taylor. We did not let him set up a living space and instead, they would have to use the main part of the house to hang out together. Rob was always welcome to have meals with us and we treated him like another member of our family. Rob is now finishing up his first year of a local college and Taylor is a senior in high school. 5 months ago, Taylor and Rob broke up and she started dating Joe, 18 male, almost immediately. Since the breakup, Rob usually stays in his place and only occasionally comes over to help my husband with various household chores. A week ago, Taylor came to us and told us that Rob's presence is making Joe uncomfortable and that we need to ask him to leave. We said no to kicking him out, but we said we would set up some new rules that would make everyone more comfortable. We said that from now on, Rob would use the living space in the apartment and would have to call before coming over. Taylor said Joe is still unhappy about this and the only thing that will make him happy is for Rob to be gone. I might be the a-hole because I told Taylor that this was obviously between her and her boyfriend and the solution is not tossing someone out on the street. She got even more upset with me and said I was ruining her senior year and she might end up dateless for prom if Joe breaks up with her. Well, OP, no, you are not the a-hole. The request is ridiculous and so is this so-called Joe. Who does he think he is demanding you guys to kick out a kid because he's uncomfortable? Has he ever heard of the phrase, deal with it? Apparently he's having some insecurity issues and he's definitely putting pressure on your daughter to get this done. And you guys shouldn't worry about this because you are doing right by the commitment that you made with Rob. Regardless of whether this Joe guy breaks up with your daughter or not, you are giving her the right example of what follow through and keeping your word means. So again, OP, you're not the a-hole, your daughter is stuck in the middle of this thing and that Joe guy, well, he needs to get over himself because this is not about him. So what do you guys think? Let me know what your judgment is in the comment section and now let's move on with the community comments to see their judgment. Goblin Official says, not the a-hole. If anything, it's kind of mean to ban him from coming into the comment space without calling since you're kind of the only support system he has right now. It sounds like he barely comes by as it is and already feels uncomfortable or unwelcome, so this is just making it worse. He hasn't had a living room this whole time and isn't allowed to bring people over. He's abiding by the family rules, but now that your daughter is being a brat, he has to pay for it. I get he's 19 and technically an adult, but I can't imagine being that age and realizing I have no stability or consistent support. OP responds, I should have clarified this, but he is now able to use the space and have people over to it. We just didn't want my daughter there unsupervised when they were dating. Outrageous Ad 9069 says, not the a-hole. I'd be worried though. Joe sounds controlling. If he doesn't live there, it's none of his business who lives in your house. I could understand if you were trotting Rob out to hang out with the family every time he came over, but it sounds like he just started dating your daughter and has already started throwing his weight around. Shantae420 says, not the a-hole. I was leaning more the other way upon reading the title, but you made your stance clear from the start. You were not going to make yourself responsible for him and then throw him out like he was some stranger. If a date to prom is her biggest worry right now, then I'd say she needs a little chat and empathy. She may still be a teenager, but now is a great time to speak about how there are far more important issues at hand than whether or not she has a date, like that boy's livelihood and entire future. OP's edit to add. Wow, I did not expect this much feedback, but I actually appreciate it. I wasn't sure about posting here, but after reading as many comments as I possibly could, my takeaways are: 1. I will talk to Taylor and make sure that Rob has never done anything that would warrant having him leave. 2. I will also talk to her about Joe and make sure that ultimatums in a relationship are not acceptable. 3. I will remind Rob that he will always have us in some capacity. 4. I will talk to Joe if he wants and explain that Rob is our commitment and directly ask him what makes him uncomfortable. Although I will have another conversation with my daughter, I truly do not believe that Rob has done anything to make her uncomfortable, so I will not be asking him to leave unless my daughter says he has done something inappropriate. Well, it sounds to me like OP and her 4 main takeaways are pretty much covering the bases. And it also sounds like OP is pretty level-headed, so I'm sure she'll be able to sort this whole thing out. As for us, well, we now move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's from user Where Did My Balls Go? Today I effed up by making my entire physics class have to watch a 20-minute educational video about risk assessment while doing the world's safest experiment. Today I had to do a very simple practical experiment in my physics class. You drop a ping pong ball a certain distance and time it with a stopwatch. Repeat trials with different heights and use this to find air resistance, etc, etc. We all get put into groups of 3s and we're standing around all of the different lab benches with the stuff we need for our experiment. A ping pong ball, stopwatch, and crucially a heavy 1 meter long wooden ruler that was broken on one end and had a pointy tip. My friend, who is standing on the other side of the lab bench, asks me to pass him the ruler. I flicked it hard across the bench, planning for it to end up about 40 centimeters to his side. Instead, the end of it hits the edge of the sink on the lab bench and it changes direction. My friend is slightly shorter than me and as a result, his crotch is in line with the top of the lab bench. The pointy front end of the ruler hits him directly in the nuts. He falls to the ground in pain and begins vigorously and loudly swearing at me. My physics teacher was unfortunately passing us by at the exact moment, and my friend's loud swearing causes her to think that I've mortally injured him. After she found out what had happened, we had to stop our experiment, sit down and watch the most boring 20-minute video on risk assessment in a science lab, before writing a risk assessment. We then had to conduct the experiment while wearing lab coats and safety glasses to prevent injury. After class, everyone yelled at me for forcing them to watch the stupid video and do a risk assessment. Ouch for your friend OP, that definitely must have hurt a lot. Although it has to be said that wearing a lab coat and safety glasses probably wouldn't have helped your friend anyways. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.